News stops.
Steve Porter, NBC News.
Next, WPTF Regional Report. A line of thunderstorms has moved through central and eastern North Carolina, causing damage in some areas and spawning tornadoes. WPTF Assistant News Director Mike Blackman has a report on some of the damage in the Raleigh area.
A tornado was reported by the fire department of the New Hope district of Wake County at 3:05 this afternoon, and they reported it was moving east at 50 miles per hour. Damage reports indicate so far some utility buildings at Stony Brook Trailer Park, that's off US 1 North, were damaged. A mobile home was turned upside down on the old Smithfield Road. There have been numerous reports of trees being uprooted with some power lines reported down. So far, no injuries have been reported. As the storm moved through the North Boulevard area here in Raleigh, it was accompanied by strong winds, rain, and some hail was reported. We've also had reports from our mobile news unit that the power is out in parts of Zebulon. We also have a report of a supermarket fire in Wendell, but we don't know if that fire is related to the tornado-like weather that we've had in the county.
And, Mike, we have a report from Russell Capps concerning the tornado situation as far as the weather aspect of it is concerned.
Condition right now appears that this particular squall line may be past the Raleigh area. The radar a few moments ago had the tornado that touched down just north of Raleigh headed east and was in the general vicinity of the Nightdale-Wendell area just a few moments ago. There have also been reported tornadic-like winds touch down west of Raleigh in the Fairview community on Old Smithfield Road, where a mobile home was overturned, according to fire reports. We also have a report that tornadic-like winds touched down at a house in Garner. We have no reports of any injuries. There have been several fires reported during the storm. So far, no injuries. Some minor property damage reported at this time.
In the event of a tornado being sighted, this is what you should do.
If a tornado warning is out, this means that one has been sighted and you are to take precautions. In a home, the safest place to get is in the smallest room in the center of the house. If you have a hallway that has walls surrounding it, the safest place would be to get in the center of that house and lay down flat on the floor. It's also wise to open a window on the opposite direction from which the storm is coming. In this case, it would be on the east side of the home. If there's a cellar, a storm cellar, of course, that would be the safest place. In the core of any building of any substantial strength would be the safest place to get if you are in a building of some sort. Any large open area that does not have support under it, such as a gymnasium or a large open space, is a very dangerous place to be. You would be more safe to get in a bathroom or small room of that type if you're in a building such as that.
And the weather conditions have also created havoc in another area of the community. Bob Butler has cancellation reports.
Okay, Gary, we have had a couple of cancellations at this particular time. Girl Scout Troop 558 meeting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Their meeting is off. That's Girl Scout Troop 558. Perhaps you're on the way to the meeting at this time. If so, turn around, go back home. The North Ridge School Talent Show is off tonight. And, Gary, of course, the Raleigh City Schools closed early today. They closed at 2:20. Raleigh Academy closed at 2:20 today, and the Wake County Schools closed earlier this afternoon. Brenda Summers has a check on the weather.
A tornado watch remains in effect until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for most of eastern North Carolina and eastern South Carolina. In addition, several tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued in the Carolinas. At 3:35 p.m., a line of thunderstorms, some spawning tornadoes, was located from just west of Rocky Mount to east of Fayetteville to southeast of Columbia. This line was moving southeast on the average of 30 miles per hour, with individual thunderstorms moving east at 50 miles per hour. The heaviest activity was located just southwest of Rocky Mount and south of Fayetteville. Aerial coverage in the line was 100%, and the average width was 18 miles. Showers and thunderstorms, often embedded in light rain, was also noted, trailing the line just to the west. This activity was moving toward the northeast about 35 miles per hour. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 5 p.m. for persons in Bertie, Edgecombe, Greene, Halifax, Hertford, Lenoir, Martin, Northampton, Pitt, Wayne counties in North Carolina. A line of thunderstorms indicated by radar extends from near North Carolina to Rocky Mount to Goldsboro. The line of thunderstorms was moving toward the east at 55 miles per hour. The severe thunderstorm warning issued at 3:15 p.m. is no longer effective for Vance, Warren, Franklin, Johnston, Cumberland, Bladen, and eastern Wake counties in North Carolina. And now to Doug Riddell for a live report on the scene of what's happening in Wake County.
Bertha, we're in Wendell right now, and there seems to be some damage. We have reports of two different fires that have been started by lightning having struck, moving towards this mark that is on fire right now. I see a number of trees that are down, one up against the house right now, limbs all over the place on the ground, but not a great deal of damage. We'll give you a further report a little later on. Doug Riddell, Mobile News 1 in Wendell.
And that's a check on the latest in news and weather. This is Garry Dornburg reporting.
This is Dan Giddens. The situation in Wake County is that high winds have passed through the area. The important thing for you to remember is to stay calm. We have had reports from the telephone company and from Carolina Power and Light Company. Some lights are out in some areas of the county. Workmen are attempting to restore power where power is down. The telephone company requests that you stay off the telephone. Listen to the radio. We'll tell you what's happening throughout the area. By going to the telephone, you tie up the system and prevent emergency use of the telephones where necessary. So please stay off the telephones and listen to the radio. This is a forecast for Raleigh and the Triangle area. A tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. A flash flood watch is in effect this afternoon. Threat of a few tornadoes along with damaging winds and possible hail this afternoon. Otherwise, showers, possible thunderstorms this afternoon, with rain very heavy at times. Precipitation ending this evening, followed by partial clearing tonight, partly cloudy tomorrow. High this afternoon in the upper 70s. Lows tonight in the 40s. Highs tomorrow, the low 60s. Winds will be 15 to 25 miles per hour, and gusty this afternoon, becoming westerly, 10 to 20 miles per hour, and gusty tonight. The severe thunderstorm warning issued at 3:15 this afternoon is no longer in effect for Vance, Warren, Franklin, Johnston, Cumberland, Bladen, and eastern Wake counties in North Carolina. The probability of precipitation is 90% this afternoon, 40% tonight, and 10% tomorrow. At 4 o'clock at the airport, the temperature had dropped to 59 degrees. A rain shower was reported. Relative humidity 97%. Most importantly, remember, stay calm. You've been given instructions on what to do if you should sight a tornado in your area. We will repeat those instructions throughout the afternoon. This is Dan Giddens.
It's lonely out tonight, and the feeling just got right for a brand new love song.
Numerous tornadoes have been reported across the state. A couple of tornadoes have been reported right here in the Raleigh-Durham area. We have a direct report now as to the weather situation from the weatherman on duty at the National Weather Service Forecast Office, John McLean.
The tornado watch is still in effect for the Triangle area until 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tonight, but the warnings for this area have now ended, and any immediate threat of tornadoes or severe thunderstorms has passed to the east of us. At 4:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, there was a line of thunderstorms that had spawned the tornadoes as they moved eastward across the state. They still contained hail and high winds. About 5 minutes ago, we had a report of a touchdown just east of Greenville. Later, it appeared that it was a funnel cloud that touched down and just touched the tops of the trees and then moved back up into the clouds. At 4:10 p.m., the line was near Norlena to near Kinston and then south to Tabor City, and it's moving rapidly eastward at around 50 miles per hour. The area to the east of this line of thunderstorms still have the threat of severe thunderstorms and still possibly a tornado, but for the Triangle area and the area west of the line, the immediate threat of severe weather has now ended, although people should stay tuned to the radio for later information if there should be a redevelopment, but the watch is in effect until 7 p.m. tonight. This is John McLean, National Weather Service in Raleigh.
Okay, John, thank you very much, and we appreciate it. John McLean at the National Weather Service Forecast Office with the latest weather information. In other news, Doug Riddell, who is in our mobile unit, has a report on some damage in the area. Doug?
Okay, Gary, the most severe damage seems to be in the Wendell area, where we have widespread power outages. There are fires there also due to lightning. Here in Wendell, where we are at the moment, trees have been removed that were blocking Highway 64 to the east. And we have a number of homes that have been damaged by trees that have fallen due to high wind. But basically, the only danger right now for those driving in the Wendell-Zebulon area seems to be a number of tree limbs, small branches that are blocking the road and could cause some damage to your automobile. This is Doug Riddell in Mobile News 1.
Thank you, Doug. And there was also some rough weather in Chapel Hill. A police department spokesman says there was some minor damage at the University Mall.
The skylight's blown off of the part of over Belk's department store, and it has some water damages there.
Any personal injuries?
No personal injuries.
Is that all the damage that you've heard reported in that area?
And then one apartment complex, Camelot Apartments, has some roof damage out there.
There has also been some damage in the Spring Lake area. At least 6 mobile homes are reported turned over, but no injuries have been reported to the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department. Twisters dipped into mobile home parks, shopping centers, and downtown areas from Rutherford County to northern Wake County across North Carolina. 3 tornadoes touched down in trailer parks in the Guilford-Randolph County area. One hit a shopping center south of Thomasville, and others struck in Robeson, Chatham, Stanley, Richmond, Mecklenburg, Union, and Orange counties. You just have to see it to believe it, said a Marshville police dispatcher after a twister dipped into the downtown area shortly before 1 p.m., ripping roofs of about a dozen businesses and homes and scattering debris across the town. Duke Power Company reported about 5,000 homes without power early in the afternoon, but 3 hours later, the 30 to 40 work crews had been able to cut the figure to about 1,500. Carolina Power and Light Company reported minor power outages. And Southern Bell Telephone Company urges people to use the phones only in emergencies. If you do not have an emergency, do not use the telephone, at least for the next few hours, because there has been an overload. And now for a report on cancellations here in the area, here's Bob Butler.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary. We have had just a handful of cancellations here in the area, meetings that are taking place this afternoon, or should have taken place this afternoon and tonight. The Garner Senior High Beta Club induction ceremony, scheduled for tonight at 7:30, has been postponed. Girl Scout Troop 558, supposed to meet this afternoon, will not meet. North Ridge School, the school talent show to take place tonight will be held at a later time, later date. That's the North Ridge School talent show. And Central Academy, they were supposed to have a parent-teacher association meeting tonight. That meeting has been canceled. Okay, Gary, that's your cancellations.
Thank you very much, Bob. And as a public service, in the event that a tornado is sighted, Russell Capps tells you what to do.
If a tornado warning is out, this means that one has it and you are to take precautions. In a home, the safest place to get is in the smallest room in the center of the house. If you have a hallway that has walls surrounding it, the safest place would be to get in the center of that house and lay down flat on the floor. It's also wise to open a window on the opposite direction from which the storm is coming. In this case, it would be on the east side of the home. If there's a cellar, a storm cellar, of course, that would be the safest place. In the core of any building of any substantial strength would be the safest place to get if you are in a building of some sort. Any large open area that does not have support under it, such as a gymnasium or a large open space, is a very dangerous place to be. You would be more safe to get in a bathroom or small room of that type if you're in a building such as that.
And if you are in an automobile inside a tornado, the best thing to do is to pull over and get into a low area immediately. We will have a closer look at the weather for the surrounding area in just a moment.
Can you believe spring is finally here? When you wake up in the morning, hear the excited chirps of birds welcoming spring. The air smells lighter, fresher, and then you open your closet door and the dismal clothes hanging there spoil your morning. Then go to Tallheimer's. They're bursting at the seams with exciting spring clothes. All the softest materials, brightest spring colors imaginable. And soon you'll want to be spending hours every day outside. And go to the coast or mountains for an early vacation, or maybe for a weekend away from home. And if you shop now, you'll be ready with your closet full of clothes from Tallheimer's spring collection that'll make you feel as happy and as fresh as spring itself. Shop the Tallheimer's Triangle, Cameron Village, Crabtree Valley, Raleigh, Northgate, and Durham.
Every day when we open the door, Tallheimer's is a brand new start.
At 4:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the line of thunderstorms that spawned tornadoes, hail, and high winds was over an area from Norlina to near Kinston and south to Tabor City, and moving rapidly eastward at around 50 miles per hour. The area to the east of this line of thunderstorms may have severe thunderstorms with hail and damaging winds and possibly tornadoes till around 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The area to the west of the line of thunderstorms is all clear. The danger of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes no longer exists for that area, which includes all the North Carolina Piedmont and the western row of counties in the North Carolina coastal plain. Weather forecast for the Triangle area: a tornado watch is in effect from now till 7 p.m. this evening. A flash flood watch in effect this afternoon. Threat of a few tornadoes along with damaging winds and possible hail this afternoon. Otherwise, showers and possible thunderstorms this afternoon with heavy rain at times. And precipitation ending this evening, followed by partial clearing tonight and partly cloudy Tuesday. High this afternoon in the upper 70s, low tonight in the 40s, high Tuesday in the low 60s. Probability of precipitation 90% this afternoon, 40% tonight, and 10% Tuesday. With a rain shower at the Raleigh-Durham Airport, 59 degrees, humidity 97%, winds from the west at 9, barometric pressure 29.72 hundredths inches. This is Garry Dornburg reporting for WPTF News.
A brand new song by Gordon Lightfoot on WPTF, Rainy Day People, 15 before 5 o'clock. Our topic for the afternoon here on the Bob Butler Show has been canceled in accordance with plans set up by the North Carolina Emergency Broadcasting System. You should not be using your telephone for conversations with friends or anything at this particular time. A telephone line should be kept open for official use and emergency use only. As you know, we are under a tornado watch here in the Triangle area. So do not use your telephone at this particular time. A telephone line should be kept open for official use and emergency use only. WPTF reminds you that Meredith College will present Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit tomorrow night and Wednesday night at 8 o'clock in Jones Auditorium on the campus, and there is no admission charge. Today, we salute Dr. Paul Bryan. A medley of the good old songs by the Vogues on WPTF, and if you don't know about it, a tornado watch is in effect for much of the Piedmont and eastern sections of North Carolina. Tornado watch in effect until 7 o'clock this evening, and possibility of flash flooding here in the Triangle area. The threat of a few tornadoes along with damaging winds and possible hail this afternoon. Otherwise, showers and possible thunder showers today with rain heavy at times. Precipitation should end this evening, followed by partial clearing tonight and partly cloudy weather expected tomorrow. Chance of precipitation 90% today, 40% tonight, and 10% tomorrow. 59 degrees, rain shower in some areas of the Triangle area at this particular time. Now, you always hear on WPTF radio and television reports, other radio reports, be prepared to move to a place of safety. Well, what in the world is a place of safety? I will attempt to tell you what a place of safety is when you sight a tornado. Okay, you see a tornado, right? All right, your immediate action can save your life and the life of your friends and family. It's nothing to treat lightly, as a matter of fact. If you're in your home, you sight a tornado, what do? All right, open the windows. Open some windows, but stay away from your windows. Okay? Take shelter in the basement of your home. If you do not have a basement, take shelter under heavy furniture in the center area of your house. Now, if you're in a school, more than likely they have advanced plans there, but if you don't know about your plans in school, you should move quickly to shelter areas or to an interior hallway on the lowest floor of the school building. If you're in an office building, a similar situation applies here. Go to an interior hallway on the lowest floor or to a designated shelter area. Now, if you're in a factory, working in a factory, you hear a tornado watch on the radio, well, you should move quickly to shelter areas. Most of your factories have advanced plans. If you don't, you should have advanced plans. Post a lookout if this can be done safely. In factories, you should move quickly to your shelter areas. In shopping centers, your immediate reaction in a shopping center would probably be to run out to the car and go home. This is absolutely the wrong thing to do. If you're in a shopping center, go to a designated shelter area, not to your parked car. Now, mobile homes are particularly vulnerable to overturning and being destroyed by strong winds and tornadoes, and these mobile homes should be evacuated when strong winds are in the forecast. Now, frequently you hear the weather forecast here on WPTF calling for a tornado watch. For example, you may be sitting in a mobile home at this time. Damage can be minimized if you secure your mobile home with cables anchored in concrete footing. Now, if there is no shelter nearby, you should leave the trailer park for low protected ground. It's not a safe place to be when you have a tornado watch in effect. If you're in the open country, you don't know what to do, you should move away from the tornado's path at a right angle. This is the place to go. If you're in open country, spot a tornado, move at a right angle. And if there is no time, you should lie flat in the nearest depression with your hands over your head. Like if you're driving along the highway and there's no time to act, you should park your car right away, jump in a ditch, and put your hands over your head. Of course, if the ditch is full of water, you have to be on the lookout for flash floods. Most important of all, listen to radio because it's pretty fast. Anything that happens, we can have it on the air in no time at all. You should listen to your latest broadcast from the National Weather Service Forecast Office here on WPTF Radio. And one other reminder, do not use your telephone. Telephones should be used for official use only. So do not use your telephone. That includes right now the telephone line should be kept open for official use and emergency use only. 5 minutes before 5 o'clock, here's John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. American City. Time is 5 o'clock.
Next, WPTF News, Garry Dornburg reporting on the 5 o'clock edition of the news. A tornado was reported by the fire department of the New Hope district of Wake County shortly after 3 o'clock today. Damage reports indicate some utility buildings at Stony Brook Trailer Park off US 1 north of Raleigh were damaged. A mobile home was turned upside down on Old Smithfield Road. There have been numerous reports of trees being uprooted with some power lines reported down. So far, no injuries have been reported in the Wake County area. As the storm moved through Raleigh, it was accompanied by heavy rain and hail. We do have some damage reports of heavy winds from the Chapel Hill area.
The skylight's blown off of the part of over Belk's department store, and it has some water damages there.
Any personal injuries?
Personal injuries.
Is that all the damage that you've heard reported in that area?
And then one apartment complex, Camelot Apartments, has some roof damage out there.
A twister dipped down and lifted part of the roof of the main administration building at the Isothermal Community College in Rutherford County. 2 women carrying children were in the school's parking lot and were tossed against a fence but were not hurt. Here in the immediate Raleigh area, these 2 twisters that we have reported did cause some damage. Our man in our mobile remote unit, Doug Riddell, is standing by right now with a direct report. Doug?
Okay, Gary, and we're in Nightdale right now, where they seem to have escaped most of the damage. We did travel, however, to Wendell, where they weren't quite as lucky. I think the lucky thing is that nobody seems, in checking with local authorities, nobody seems to have been injured. Traveling from the New Hope area down to Highway 64, we did see a great number of tree branches, tree limbs strewn across the road, and this was causing traffic hazards. The Wendell area, they still have widespread power failures due to tree limbs, of course, cutting down power lines and interrupting communications. A number of small fires due to lightning striking. This is the only report we heard of in eastern Wake County of lightning striking. This was in the Wendell area. In Zebulon, traffic on 64 to the east was blocked by fallen trees. A number of homes in the Zebulon area were damaged by trees that were felled by the high winds. The twister, as reported earlier, which came out of the New Hope area, seemed to have taken a route much followed by us this afternoon down the New Hope Road, 264, and through the Wendell-Zebulon area, Wendell seeming to have gotten the blunt. As we said, the lucky thing is that it appears that injuries, are, at least the injuries that were reported, seem to be minor. No one seems to be hurt, luckily. Property damage is not too extensive. This is Doug Riddell for WPTF News, live from Mobile News 1.
Thank you very much, Doug, and we will have a report from Russell Capps from the Office of Civil Preparedness in just 1 minute.
Say, America, the Chevrolet Bel Air four-door sedan is already America's lowest-priced full-size car based on a comparison of manufacturer's suggested retail prices. And right now, you can get that price down even lower by seeing your Chevy dealer. Here's the deal. Bel Air's price includes steel-belted radial tires as standard equipment. Now, if you decide you don't want radial tires, Chevrolet will put bias-belted fly tires on a new 1975 Bel Air sedan, and the sticker price will be $131.55 less. You heard it right, America. Right now, you can lower the sticker price of a new Bel Air by $131.55 if you don't want radial tires. And you'll still be getting a lot of value on a lot of Chevrolet, the power steering and brakes and turbo-hydromatic transmission standard. If you're in the market for a full-size car, see your Chevy dealer. Discover all the reasons why Chevrolet is America's full-size sales leader. When it comes to value, Chevrolet makes sense for America.
This newscast is sponsored by Chevrolet, and we have more reports of damage in the area. Here is Russell Capps of the Office of Civil Preparedness with a wrap-up on the tornado situation here in the Raleigh-Durham area.
Very fortunate in this severe weather that occurred this afternoon throughout Wake County. We know of several touchdowns, but damage appears to be rather light. The most severe damage appears to be a mobile home that was overturned in the vicinity of Old Smithfield Road, in southwest Wake County. There was tornadic-like winds that touched down at a home in the Garner area. The home belonged to a Garner policeman who reported that the damage was not too great. The tornadic winds also touched down on Batts Road, just off 401 North in the New Hope community, just north of Raleigh, where a carport was destroyed and a portion of the roof of the home of Roger Anderson. Ironically enough, Roger Anderson is a man that keeps our emergency radio communications in operation. It moved on then, was picked up by radar at Raleigh-Durham and moved eastward, where a number of trees were reported uprooted in the Knightdale, Wendell, Zebulon area. Communications and power were out in those areas for a while. We understand it has been restored, and a check with these locations indicates that damage is mostly to trees that were blown over and power lines damaged. They said that they could take care of the situation and did not require outside assistance. Might say that we also had a flash flood watch at the same time, and the creeks and streams were monitored all during this period, and there was no rapid rate of rise. We think we're home free. The cold front is still to the west of us, still a couple of 3 hours away, but the Weather Bureau feels that the severe weather is already past us. We may continue to have some thunder showers and some heavy rain.
And in other news, high winds were clocked across the state, and officials at Pope Air Force Base near Fayetteville diverted a flight to Langley Air Force Base near Norfolk when a 52-knot gust was reported. The base received minor damage from winds, and power was out in several base areas. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Department says they have had reports that at least 6 mobile homes have been overturned, but they have not received any reports of injuries. In Thomasville, just before 2 p.m., a tornado dipped into a small shopping center, ripping most of the roof off a new A&P store and a service station and shattering plate glass windows in the supermarket. The store roof was tossed behind the store against a fence, and the twister skipped over and damaged the roof of a condominium project. And in downtown Charlotte, high winds pushed out the plate glass windows in the showroom of a car dealership. Duke Power Company reported about 5,000 homes without power early in the afternoon, but 3 hours later, the figure was cut in half. The Hamlet Hospital sustained minor damage from a twister that also broke out the stained glass windows in the city's First Methodist Church. The twisters on the Guilford-Randolph County line destroyed at least 13 mobile homes and trailer parks and damaged 2 houses in the Archdale and Julian areas. And in Chatham County, tornadoes damaged a number of outbuildings, including chicken houses. And US 15501 north of Pittsboro was blocked as trees fell across the road. Loaded school buses in Pittsboro were held about 15 minutes until the storm front passed. The gym of Robertson County's Littlefield High School sustained minor damage as twisters struck in the Lumberton, Prospect, Red Springs, and Pembroke areas. A storm system brought a quick, heavy thunderstorm to eastern Winston-Salem, where a rash of minor traffic accidents was reported. The storm vanished as quickly as it appeared, and so far there have been no reported injuries. And the latest status on the storm right now, a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 5:05 p.m. for persons in Jones, Craven, Beaufort counties in North Carolina. A line of thunderstorms was indicated by radar from 20 miles east of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, to 20 miles south of Goldsboro, North Carolina, at 4:05 p.m. The line of thunderstorms is moving toward the southeast at 40 miles per hour. We'll have more news in just a moment.
Say, America, the Chevrolet Bel Air four-door sedan is already America's lowest-priced full-size car based on a comparison of manufacturer's suggested retail price. And right now, you can get that price down even lower by seeing your Chevy dealer. Here's the deal. Bel Air's price includes steel-belted radial tires as standard equipment. Now, if you decide you don't want radial tires, Chevrolet will put bias-belted fly tires on a new 1975 Bel Air sedan, and the sticker price will be $131.55 less. You heard it right, America. Right now, you can lower the sticker price of a new Bel Air by $131.55 if you don't want radial tires. And you'll still be getting a lot of value on a lot of Chevrolet, the power steering and brakes and turbo-hydromatic transmission standard. If you're in the market for a full-size car, see your Chevy dealer. Discover all the reasons why Chevrolet is America's full-size sales leader. When it comes to value, Chevrolet makes sense for America.
Briefly checking national headlines, the issue of tax credits for new home purchases is the first one to provoke sharp disagreement as House Senate conferees try to work out a compromise on tax cut legislation. But Conference Chairman Al Ullman says he believes a compromise plan can be hammered out by tomorrow. President Ford has announced that he's reviewing the United States policy toward the nations of the Middle East following the failure of the latest peace mission in the area. A new communist threat is believed building in the Mekong Delta of South Vietnam, with Russian-made amphibious tanks spotted in the area for the first time. 3 persons are known dead in the aftermath of a tornado which touched down in Atlanta 8 times during the morning rush hour. The governor's mansion was one of several buildings that sustained heavy damage. The United States Supreme Court has agreed to decide whether employee seniority should be changed to make up for past discrimination against minority workers. In other North Carolina news, Governor Jim Holshouser has asked the state to intervene in a Durham suit which is testing the use of federal revenue sharing funds. The suit was filed by the Carolina Action Environmental Sharing Group and charges the city and county of Durham failed to file environmental impact statements for a proposed city-county government building. Carolina Action won the case in U.S. District Court, and the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has scheduled a hearing on the suit in early April. Carr Lake on the North Carolina-Virginia border today crested at a record height of 316.8 feet. Sub an inch of rain was expected in the area today, but Army Corps of Engineer officials say enough water is being released from the lake to prevent it from getting any higher. Officials say turning loose the water has forced a rise in the Roanoke River and flooded low-lying pastures and farmlands. The superintendent of the Huntersville Prison Unit has been demoted to a lieutenant at the Western Correctional Center for what prison officials said was mismanagement. The man was identified as John F. Meters, and officials say the mismanagement led to a number of escapes. Maeders has been superintendent of the facility since 1972. Officials say they suspect arson in the weekend fire at the Sox and Martin Company near Burlington. That firm builds cars for drag and track racing. SBI agent Fred Tucker says several suspects have been questioned in connection with Saturday's fire. Tucker said they discovered evidence of breaking and entering at the firm in Alamance County. Governor Holshouser has named the China Grove resident Carl Eugene Sloop Jr. as chairman of the Soil and Water Conservation Commission. The governor also reappointed William G. Greenlee of Marion to the commission for a term expiring in January of 1978. First Union National Bank today says its prime interest rate will drop to 7 3/4% tomorrow. First Union, the state's third largest bank, says the 1/4% reduction would take effect at the opening of the business day. Wachovia Bank and Trust Company and several of the nation's larger banks recently announced similar reductions. The prime rate is charged to banks' most creditworthy corporate customers for short-term loans. That's the news. Now with sports and the weather, here is Garry Dornburg.
Thank you very much, Mike. And in exhibition baseball, Pittsburgh defeated the Chicago White Sox 8-2. Both Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner declined to go through a second weigh-in today as they rested up for tonight's heavyweight title bout at Richfield, Ohio. Ali, who was making his first defense since winning the crown from George Foreman, should be a little heavier than the 223.5 pounds that he scaled yesterday. And the best fight on the card tonight could be the first half of the closed-circuit doubleheader, which pits heavyweight contenders Ken Norton and Jerry Quarry in a 12-rounder at New York's Madison Square Garden. And the Buffalo Sabres say goalie Roger Crozier will remain hospitalized for a few more days for treatment of stomach pains. But left winger Rick Martin is expected to resume skating tomorrow. And in regional sports, Tar Heel basketball coach Dean Smith is soon expected to be named coach of the U.S. Olympic basketball team for 1976. And Clemson University officials are silent on reports that Tates Locke resigned as basketball coach because his contract was not renewed. The weather situation now, at 4:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the line of thunderstorms that spawned tornadoes, hail, and high winds was over an area from Norlina to near Kinston and south to the Tabor City area and moving rapidly eastward at around 50 miles per hour. The area to the east of this line of thunderstorms may have severe thunderstorms with hail and damaging winds and possibly tornadoes till around 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The area to the west of this line of thunderstorms is all clear. The danger of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes no longer exists for that area, which includes all the North Carolina Piedmont and the western row of counties in the North Carolina coastal plain. Now, the flash flood watch issued at 1 o'clock this afternoon for the eastern slopes and foothills, the Piedmont, and portions of the coastal plain has been officially canceled. The line of heavy thunderstorms that moved across the Piedmont and coastal plain this afternoon has moved into the coastal sections of North Carolina. And scattered showers and thunder showers will end across eastern North Carolina tonight as a cold front moves across the state. The threat of flash flooding being caused by heavy thunderstorms has ended. Forecast for North Carolina, partial clearing over the western half of the state tonight with showers and thunderstorms ending along the coast by morning. Fair Tuesday through Wednesday with the lows tonight in the upper 30s to the low 40s in the mountains to the mid to upper 50s along the coast. Highs on Tuesday in the 50s in the mountains to the mid to upper 70s along the coast. And for the Triangle area, a tornado watch is in effect from now till 7 o'clock this afternoon. A flash flood watch is in effect, and a threat of a few tornadoes along with damaging winds and possible hail this afternoon. Otherwise, showers and possible thunderstorms this afternoon with rain heavy at times. Precipitation ending this evening, followed by partial clearing tonight and partly cloudy Tuesday. High this afternoon in the upper 70s, low tonight in the 40s, high Tuesday in the low 60s. But we repeat, a tornado watch is in effect from now till 7 o'clock, and that flash flood watch has been canceled officially by the Weather Bureau. Currently, rain shower, 59 degrees, humidity 97%. This is Garry Dornburg reporting for WPTF News and the 5 o'clock edition of the news, brought to you by Chevrolet.
20 minutes after 5 o'clock, a new recording by Roger Whittaker on WPTF. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Bob Butler Show here till 7 o'clock tonight. Our topic for the day today has been canceled. Telephone lines are open at the current time for official and emergency use only due to the weather predicament that we're having in North Carolina today. Therefore, we are merely cooperating with a request of the telephone company and the North Carolina Emergency Broadcasting System, and not putting on our telephone talk show this afternoon. So our topic this afternoon is off on the Bob Butler Show. Hey, coming up tonight, open line 9:05 on WPTF. Carl Venters Jr. sitting in for Bart Rittner tonight, and we have a special treat Wednesday night. Guess who's going to be on open line with Bart Rittner? Dr. Boren of the Mumbles Report here on WPTF. Now, Dr. Boren will be on the entire open line show Wednesday night from 9:05 till 11:45.
On your way to work in Raleigh's rush hour traffic, remember, somebody up there likes you. The WPTF Traffic Helicopter, offering you alternative routes around tie-ups, just might save you a few minutes and a lot of aggravation on your way to work. Weekday mornings on the Johnny Hood Show on Radio 680.
Spring just wouldn't be spring without green plants and blooming plants for your home.
Unless this country rushes to the aid of Phnom Penh, the Cambodian government will fall to the rebels within...
Time is 5:25. Ramsey Lewis on WPTF along with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Name of the song is Sun Goddess. And now to Garry Dornburg in the WPTF newsroom. Gary?
Thank you very much, Bob. And this is an official all clear. The Tornado Watch Bulletin number 88 is no longer in effect for the Triangle area and the northeastern Piedmont. The north